we are not in a bear market. We are still clearly bullish. Look at altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoins are exploding left and right. And we definitely still have more gains ahead.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin, here with Aaron. And of course, back at it again with Ben Armstrong of BitBoy Crypto. Man, still doing good?
Yeah, still doing good. Still doing good. I'm on a different vacation this time. So
very nice. Very nice. And before we kind of jump into the main point of this video, what is your general take on the state of the market now? Still bullish? Still bearish? Thoughts?
Well, definitely bullish on the markets. I mean, and this is, I tell you what, Austin, this is really where you get into the difference between people who have been in this market for a long time and people who haven't. And, you know, a lot of the people that are in our comments, you know, and we certainly got some OGs that have been in there, but usually people come in the comments that you can tell like they haven't really been around that long because they're so quick to totally change their mindset. We even see people on YouTube that do this. One day they're really bearish, and I'm not talking about like on a daily chart or a candle or a trading zone. I'm talking about like one day they're really bearish, like it's going to $8,000, and the next day they come on and they're like, bull runs on, we're going to 100,000. I have said all year we're bullish. Even when we crashed in May, we told people not to sell your Bitcoin, not to sell your XRP, your Cardano, your Ethereum. All of those, are moving towards higher prices or have set higher prices. Certainly, we're still in a bull run, and we have been, even though people were saying bear market in May. Now, just because we've sputtered a little bit, that doesn't change the overall trajectory of where we're going. And I think it's much more important for people to realize that we're going to certain price points, not necessarily different, areas of time. Okay, so. I said earlier in the year, I thought September we would top out. Well, we got close to September and it was very obvious that wasn't going to happen. I thought, by the end of November, we'd probably be there. Well, we're here now. The price movement really depends on where I feel like the market's going. We're going to $100,000, very close to it, maybe a little above it. I don't think we're going to $200,000 or $300,000. So I'm waiting for that move to get us there. I think it's really important to watch the rest of this year, to set a tone for next year. I mean, if we were still at 50,000, which we're not going to be by the end of December, then maybe we need to start adjusting our game plan and things like that. But in crypto, you always have to be fluid. You always have to be flexible. And no, we are not in a bear market. We are still clearly bullish. Look at altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoins are exploding left and right. And we definitely still have more gains ahead.
Now, before we get into specific projects, and I want to encourage everybody from the Altcoin Daily audience and the BitBoy Crypto audience to comment which altcoin projects you think fit the title of this video in the comments below, and we'll be looking at that and possibly including them in a future video. But before we get into specifics, my question for you is, what types of altcoin projects do you think are hot right now or excite you the most right now?
Well, I definitely think that smart contract platforms continue to be the most lucrative investment I've ever made in my life, and it's not just, the Ethereum. It's not just Cardano. It's not just, Binance Smart Chain. When you're looking, of course, you'd invest in that through BNB or Pancake Swap, things like that. We're looking at Solana and Avalanche now is rising up. We're looking at Elrond as well. Elrond would be a great, altcoin gem, except for this thing just ripped through an all-time high and it's crushing it. And, you got to wonder how much higher some of these things can go. But the point is, smart contract platforms are such a good investment because they're not seasonal. Smart contract platforms are going to be the future of Web3. Polkadot as well as, obviously another really, really good one. So you're really investing in the future of tech when you invest in those smart contract platforms. And that's why we love them on this channel and they continue to move. Kind of more like seasonally, which I would actually argue is the future of crypto as well, metaverse tokens. I mean, metaverse tokens and gaming tokens, NFT projects, these are like the new generation of crypto coming into the ecosystem that are going to be around for a long time. And they don't just appeal to the traditional crypto people. They appeal to the mainstream as well. And I think that's really strong. But the number one niche, we're actually moving this channel to a metaverse channel like next year. We'll still cover other crypto stuff, but I mean, we are going to go so hard and so heavy in metaverse. We'll talk about one of those coins here in a little bit, but you know, Decentraland, Blocktopia, MetaHero, so many of these projects in the future that are going to have a lot to say with, you know, how this metaverse unfolds. And, you know, people forget, like, it's not just VR. It's not just a headset, which a lot of people say, like, oh, those headsets are so crazy. We take them right off. I don't like them. Well, yeah. Did you like carrying around a mobile phone on your shoulder or a boombox over your head? You know, over time, technology gets better, cheaper, smaller. Okay. So when you look at AR in the augmented reality and the Ray-Bans that Meta or Facebook is putting together, you know, AR is also going to be a big factor in this as well. So a company like MetaHero is looking at a lot of AR stuff. They're trying to scan, you know, real world objects into the digital world. It's very interesting. So metaverse, definitely where I believe the next set of millionaires are going to be made.
Now, I want to just remind the audience that altcoins, for the most part, follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin has a red month, it's very likely that altcoins are going to follow, or at least not have as big of gains as usual. So everybody do your own research, make your own decisions. But I want to pose this question to you, Ben. For the month of December, give me 5 altcoins that have 10, 15x potential on your radar.
And I just want to say real quick, not financial advice, just a disclaimer, do your own research.
Yeah. Well, I would say that, you know, I've got 3 projects that I think definitely have 10 to 15x potential. We'll go over the reasons why the potential is there and why it's just unrealized potential at this point. Then I got 2 other projects that I believe maybe not 10 to 15x in December, but December could be the last time you get great positions in these projects. Going to start off with 2 projects that have massively underperformed for the last couple of months. Number one would be Cardano. Now, Cardano, people are fighting it everywhere. They're saying it's over, it's dead. eToro just delisted it, which I still don't even understand why eToro is relevant. But they just delisted it. And so, you know, people are freaking out. The smart contracts are out. Everything is on the table for the Cardano ecosystem now. All the arguments of, you know, when are they going to come out with this? When are they going to do this? They're gone now. It's just a matter of putting everything into motion. And so I do think that, you know, this is another one that I look to go somewhere in the $10 to $12 range. And right now it's sitting, you know, below $2. I think it can definitely, you know, rip. It could rip even as high as, you know, $15 to $20 in the most bullish possible scenario. It's great tech. It's great project. And it is very undervalued. We've seen with Cardano in 2017, I always like to point out this. It took Cardano 3 moves, a spike, consolidation, spike, consolidation, spike to get from 3 cents to $1.18. 3 moves. That was all it took. So remember that when you forget about Cardano. Number 2 would be XRP. And if you want to find out more about our conversation about XRP, you guys make sure to go check out my interview I did with Austin and Aaron, Altcoin Daily, you know, on this channel. Talk about in that video. XRP can definitely go to $12 to $15 in this bull run. It's sitting slightly over $1 right now. Look, in the first week of December, if this lawsuit is over, this thing will rip above $10 almost for sure. You know, not financial advice, but almost for sure if the lawsuit ends in the beginning of December by the end of the year, and then can go up higher than that going into January. So XRP is definitely one to watch. I've never seen a coin that like is so dependent upon this one thing happening like we are right now with XRP. But, you know, that's definitely another one. Now, I've also got a lower cap gem for you guys. We don't really go that far beneath the top 100, but at number 207, a project I'm an advisor for. We have, you know, been partner with this project for a long time on my channel, Cartesi. If you like Polygon, you'll love Cartesi. Cartesi is a little bit different than Polygon. It is an ETH layer 2 solution, but Cartesi uses rollup, so it's more secure. Everything happens on chain. Just so you know, an ETH layer 2 project, it makes gas fees lower by patching transactions together, and there's a variety of ways that it can be done to make them faster, more scalable, and cheaper gas fees. So if Ethereum pumps to where we think Ethereum is going to go in December, then it makes sense that with the rising gas fees that you will get some pump to some ETH layer 2 projects. And we believe Cartesi is the best one out there. So there's a reason why they're the best project we've ever worked with. We love them. They're not focused on price. They don't care about it. They only care about the tech. They're using Linux, which I didn't know, like 97% of all corporations use Linux operating systems. So they're doing their rollups on Linux. Very interesting stuff. They got some interesting Texas Hold'em poker online things that they're doing to verify fairness in online poker, which is another really big thing that they're doing. So those are 3 projects that definitely can. Now, here's 2 other projects that have already ripped, but I believe are going to continue pumping massively. So warning with these, they're both at all-time highs, but I think these have the momentum. This is very rare. Most of the time I come out and say, don't get projects at all-time highs. These 2, I think, have the potential to continue on. Number 1 would be Avalanche. Avalanche is a smart contract platform in the line of what we were talking about earlier, but right now it's heavily DeFi focused. It's got a lot of projects on it that are pumping right now and doing really well. One is Olympus DAO, and another one, or OHM is the ticker. Another one is Wonderland that goes by the ticker Time. It's like 90,000% APY. It is insane what they're doing. The Time token is very expensive, but the point is, these are having a positive effect on the Avalanche ecosystem. If you look at what happened with Solana, Solana is a blueprint for what can happen when a project rips through all-time highs and just doesn't ever stop, right? Avalanche, I believe, is in that same vein, because if you look at really what kicked off Solana's massive run-up, it was a $300 million fundraise that came from Coinbase Ventures. Well, I think it's called 3 Arrows Capital, just did a similar raise for Avalanche maybe about 2 months ago now, $230 million. When you see these funds pour giant money into projects when they're already nearing all-time highs, that's kind of a research symbol you can look at. That's like something you can see these say, what's going on here? Why would they put money in it at this kind of price? And it usually continues the price action. That's when we've seen Solana rip level after level. So definitely Avalanche, pay attention to. I called it the next Solana 2 months ago. That's looking like a pretty good prediction. Sandbox. That's my last coin. Sandbox, or the Sandbox. Sand is the token of the Sandbox ecosystem. This is a metaverse. The alpha is coming out very soon. We've actually been building on Sandbox. We have land there. We hired 4 professional Minecraft builders, and we built an entire city in the beta, and we're getting ready for the alpha to where things are going to get gamified and people are actually, I think this is going to be really the first metaverse. People are going to really be able to explore what this is going to look like. So, we could see potentially a price drop when the alpha comes out. Buy the rumor, sell the news, but we could also potentially see, a massive amount of adoption because of the level of interest in metaverse right now that could push this token much, much, much higher. We've been talking about this since the beginning of Sandbox when it launched at, I think it was at 4.5 cents, crossed over $5 yesterday, or, I'm not sure when you guys are showing this, but it recently passed over $5. So that shows the kind of potential that these coins have. And there's so much attention in metaverse. People said with NFT projects, they can't continue to move. And you know what they did? They continue to move. I think metaverse has potential to be the same thing.
Well, I remember we had you on like in March of this year, or very early on in 2021, and Sandbox was one of your list for low cap altcoins. And it's done very well.
Love it.
My final question to you, Ben, is if your analysis or if your thoughts are Bitcoin can reach 100K, maybe a little more at most, these, that's a 2x. Is a 15x really possible if Bitcoin only hits 100K?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sandbox is like 15x in the last month, I don't know if that's an exact.
Cardano.
Oh, for Cardano. Well, yeah, because look, when Ethereum and Cardano move, they're not at the same time. So if you go back and look at the movement that Ethereum was getting in between the end of January and when it finally, set a new all-time high around Easter, it was doing nothing, right? Bitcoin was, in between that 42 and 50 range, just bouncing around. And Cardano went from, I think, 60 cents all the way to $2, right? At 4x during that time, basically. So these larger coins, they move cyclically. They don't necessarily move all together in tandem. Yes, in general, if Bitcoin goes up, in general, altcoins go up. But look at what Solana did. Look at what Avalanche has been doing. Look what Crypto.com has been doing. They don't all move you know, in proportion to each other. So yeah, I do believe that it's definitely possible. Look, whether it's in December or January, I believe these numbers are real and they're coming. It's just a matter of when. So if they start the movement in December and they end the movement in January or early February, then that's a win too.
Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate the thoughtful perspective. One of the best channels out there on crypto YouTube, links down below. Final thoughts on altcoins for the Altcoin Daily audience.
Yeah, I really enjoy that you guys finally do altcoin content now.
That's right. If you were with us in the bear market, we were big Bitcoiners.
Yeah, and I was still on altcoins. I was trying to tell y'all. But.
You know,
you had a much more open mind, Ben. Props to you. You were seeing a year down the road, and I quickly adapted, dude. I quickly adapted in Q4
you guys
of
did
2020.
a great job.
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right, we'll let you go. Thanks again, Ben.
All right, thanks for having me.